Hi everybody, welcome back to Half Acre Adventures. Before we get started on our June garden tour, I just want to say thank you. We just hit 100 subscribers. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but for a brand new channel, this has been a lot of fun and pretty cool to see this grow. So it's the third week of June now, and I just want to show you some of the things that we're eating and what's happening in our garden. And so let's go for half a tour. Here we have a bed that we use for our greens. It's right close to our deck and our kitchen. And we had some spinach and miner's lettuce, or claytonia, growing in here earlier this season. That's all finished now, and I have re-sown some different things in here. This is carrots. They need to be thinned out soon. And we have amaranth growing. That's this purple one here. And we'll use this in our salads and stir fries. There's some kale, some herbs, some chives. There's some lettuce and some more fava bean greens, and we just eat the greens off of here. Just pick these off. Actually, you can eat the blossoms too, and we won't even let these grow beans. They're just here for the greens. And then I've also got some yellow bush beans in here, and these will grow up and fill up this space as the lettuce and the kale finish up. And behind our greens here, we have some honeyberry bushes. That's our nectarine that we just put in this year. And the pots are full of pawpaw seeds. They'll take a little while to germinate, and that's a new experiment for us here. This is the garden bed that we made together about a month ago, and we've got a zucchini in here. The arugula that we seeded is almost done, almost flowering, and so we'll mulch that soon. This is a gummy berry. This is a huge plant. It grows really well here. Autumn olive, it's called as well. You can see the little flowers on there. And so this will have a ton of berries on it, ready around late August and September. And then here we have another zucchini, some more honeyberries, and I've got some acorn squash growing here in these beds, and our peach tree. This is a bed of carrots that we seeded pretty early in the year. And we've also got a few cilantro plants that have just seeded up out of our compost we put in there. There's a couple of peppers from our neighbor. And then we have our strawberry bed. You see any good ones, Kay? We rated this one earlier this morning already. But they're looking really nice. In here we have our beets. We did a video early on where we thinned out our beets. They're looking really nice. And then we've got our yustaberry back there. Here's our different basils that we have. Some are doing better than others. Some got a little scorched because we got them out here too early in the sunshine without harding them off. And this is a jalapeno pepper. So we've just got them in here, increase the temperature a few degrees, give them a little greenhouse effect. So we just completed the trellis for our hardy kiwis. Now these aren't like the big fuzzy kiwis that you get from New Zealand. These are small little grape-like kiwis, and you can eat the whole thing. They're absolutely delicious. There's a few blossoms on this one. This is a self-fertile variety, and it will do better with a male. And so we actually have a male kiwi growing on the fence over there. It's doing really well. And we are trying out some watermelons here in this bed. It's crazy cilantro, some calendula growing in here. The bees will love that. This is all seeded up from last year. And then this is another kiwi here. This one will take a few more years. It's a different variety, but it is really enjoying this spot, and hopefully it'll be trained up onto these wires here soon. So yeah, this is another kiwi, okay? This is brand new. We put them in this year. And there's a few beans I popped in just so they could climb on the fence. And then these guys, these are Oregon sugar snap peas. And we've just been eating these for the last week or so. Super good. I prefer these to the shelling peas. I just feel like there's more food on them. Really great just to eat fresh, good in salads. And then we have some acorn squash that we popped in here a little while ago. We have our asparagus crowns planted in here, fairly new crowns, and so there's not much to harvest this year, but they will be next year. And this is the potato bed that we made with straw about a week or two ago. We did a video about that, and you can see I put some more dirt on here just from kind of the corners of our yard on top of the straw, and we've already got some new potatoes starting to poke up out of this bed. So it does work, remember? It seems to be doing well. Our butternut squash seedlings are doing really well in here, getting bigger now that we're getting some warm weather finally. And then this is our potato bed that we planted really early in the season. They're doing really well. I just went through here this morning, and this is an early variety. This is a purple potato, and here's a few that I missed. I was actually just pulling out all the flowers that was on top, so we send that energy back down into the roots to create more potatoes.
Don't pick it up here.
This is a goji berry that we put in this spring, and this is something that should grow quite well here, and we'll probably need to trellis it or grow it something like raspberries as it gets bigger. And then this is a bed that is usually in the shade, and so I grew radishes in here early on. I've since put in an acorn squash. We'll see how that does. And this is the best spot for our broccoli this year. The other broccoli we put in probably 6 weeks ago didn't do well in the more sunny, hot areas, but it did really well here. I've already been harvesting like the main crown and some of these shoots. So we've been enjoying some fresh broccoli. It seems to be doing well here. And then this is a brand new fruit tree. This is an Asian pear bare root tree that we put in probably about a month ago. And then all the way around the outside we have our fava beans. This is a hugel bed that I made really early in the season, probably around February, and planted these fava bean seeds in there. And it's just like a jungle. These are like 4 feet tall and looking really good. We should have some nice fava beans on here. Yeah, here's some right here. This is an ancient crop. Humans have been eating this for like 6,000 years. Really high in protein, even the leaves, which we can eat. And so we'll use these for planting for next year, and also we'll be eating the beans. Our chickens started laying, and so we've been getting some fresh eggs the last week or so. So that's pretty exciting. And you'll recall from a previous video how the chickens were eating these peas through their fence. And so I actually put up this little piece of fencing here, and I reseeded this, and so they've popped up, and I think this will keep it far enough away from the fence. We have some Swiss chard growing in here, as well as some of those yellow bush beans. I put a few more in here. And our raspberries that we put in last year have just exploded. Lots of new growth, really tall new canes for next year. They're like 5 feet tall. And even from last year, we've got some really nice canes that are producing. So we've just started eating raspberries in the last week or so. Super yummy. And then beside our raspberries here is another new bed that I did this year. In here I've planted our hemp, and this is actually hemp. There is no THC in this. This is something that we use for eating, and this year I've actually pulled out the male plants, and so there'll be no seeds in it. And we've also got some kale that is doing really well in here. There's a random nasturtium that came up out of our compost. That's good raspberries. And this here is a gummy berry. So this is a really, this is usually loaded up with berries. It's sort of an astringent, tart and sweet flavor. I actually really like it. And this does really well in the shade, so that's why it's over here. As well, in the shade we have our collards. They're growing up and looking really nice. I've planted a few successions of spinach in here as well. And we've got our herb garden right behind it.
What's that one?
Which one?
That one.
The one in the middle?
Yeah.
So this is a rosemary, and this will be something that it's in here for its second year. It'll grow and over winter should do really well.
Where's that one?
The one with the flowers? Yeah, that's thyme. That goes in a lot of our soups that we make. And we've also got some, lots of cilantro popping up. This is sage. This is actually from some friends. I brought home a chunk from their sage plant. It was a huge bush, and I just took some of the leaves off the bottom of the stick and I stuck it in the ground, and it has rooted and it's starting to grow for us now. There's some sorrel there, some more parsley, and tarragon as well. Our scarlet runner beans are climbing the trellis, and that's looking really good. This they grow so tall, they will just cover this entire thing, and they'll be nice bright red flowers. The hummingbirds absolutely love the flowers of these beans. And then we've got our blueberries, and this year we've got a bumper crop of blueberries coming along. We've got 6 plants here, 4 different varieties, and I think we're going to have to net these up because the birds are going to be all over it this year. You know what these are, Rio?
No.
This is garlic.
Garlic.
Yeah, you know that?
What?
This is garlic, yeah. So the garlic is under the ground here, the bulb that we use, but this is what the top of it looks like. And on the top of it, this guy here, it grows into a big long spiral and has a flower, and it goes to seed. It's called a garlic scape. We just harvested those last week, and we'll make a pesto out of that. This tunnel here is what we use for our cucumbers, and I seeded cucumbers in here a couple of weeks ago, and they all popped up and did really well. And then the slugs got at them, yeah. And so I've started some seedlings inside to replace them if they don't make it, and I've actually reseeded some along the other side here. So we'll see how these go. I'm determined to make this work because that'll be our pickles for the year. And then our tomato beds. So they're doing really well. We transplanted these tomatoes into beds a little while ago, and we tried out some different types of mulching. Really is working well. There's no weeds growing in here. It's really retaining the moisture well. And you can see that these need some pruning and they need to be tied up to our stakes. And so I'll do another video on that here shortly. So here's one of our beehives. We just got our nuke about 2 weeks ago. And so we did a hive inspection just recently to see how they're doing. And it looks really good. We found the queen, she's in there, and they're starting to build comb on some of the other frames. You can see the bees that are coming back in here. They've got these little balls on their feet, like sacs. There they go. And that's pollen that they're bringing back. Yeah, you can see it on their feet there. So we're pretty excited to have these bees here. Really gentle, really docile. No stings yet. And it seems like there's never a shortage of things to plant and find space for. This is a tray of wonderful goodies we got from another fellow gardener in the community. So thank you, Mist, and check out Coastal Mist online to see her website and what she's doing. This is, that's a buttercup, get him out of there. This is a perennial arugula and some perennial spinach, mountain spinach, and some wasabi. These are all crops that do really well in the shade, and so looking for a spot that they're going to transplant in, as well as some more raspberries and some chives from some neighbors. And here's a new raspberry bed that I just put in a few days ago. Man, we are going to have so many raspberries. It's awesome. I love it. And then we also cut back a lot of the trees that were sort of encroaching on our property here. Everything grows so well, so we have to do that once in a while. And opened up some space, and we're planted some native plants in here, some foxglove and daisy and yarrow. So as you can see, we've been extremely busy and enjoying our time here at home. And yeah, we even built a Ninja Warrior course back there for the kids. So if you have any suggestions or comments, or you like what you see, or you want to see a video on something specific, drop us a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. And until next time, happy gardening. Bye for now.